works, we should be streaming on all of the platforms.
Like currently?
I'm going to refresh.
Who's here? Like Facebook currently? Like Twitter? Like
I don't know. We'll find out. There's Dustin.
I don't know who's out there. Hello, into the abyss.
Dustin says, "Just keep waiting. Just keep waiting. You're killing me, Smalls." Insert Jeopardy theme here.
Mm-hmm.
John says, "I feel like I'm in college, hitting the refresh button on the browser, waiting to register for classes." Well, so here's the deal. We are attempting something this morning where we are attempting to multi-stream on the YouTubes, which you both are on, as well as it looks like we are live streaming right now on Facebook. And
hello, Facebook.
Refresh Twitter. We are streaming live on Twitter right now.
Get out of here. I'm going to go follow you on Twitter.
I'm going to go look and see. Is it possible? And we're also streaming live on Rumble.
Oh, dude, I'm interested about that one.
We are live on all of the things. Yeah.
I'm still learning the old Rumble. I'm gathering that it's kind of like a Twitch right now. I mean, there are standalone videos, but they're kind of rare. Mostly everybody's live streaming, so this will be interesting.
Yeah.
At least from what it offers me. Hats off to Ecamm. I saw already that these guys, whenever you pull up their comments, it has a little indicator as to where they came from. So that's pretty cool. Has like YouTube in the bottom corner.
Yeah. Can you see that already?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you pulled up John and I think it was Dustin, whoever it was.
And if you haven't, let's see.
Ooh,
if you
chats.
want to join the
Don't mind if I do.
convo, click on the video.
Yes, it was Dustin.
Type away. And don't forget to follow the vlog pastors page.
You guys are going to make me hungry.
Vlog pastors for upcoming live streams. Is live streams one word or two word?
I think live stream is one word.
I think, well, it depends on if you're going to be a streaming live. So if you're live streaming.
Streaming, but if you're on a live stream, it's one, isn't it?
I think so.
Ooh. Let's make it one word. Let's make this a thing.
And now let me go over here and I'm going to try to retweet, a quote retweet. Vlog pastors are live.
It's 5
Come
words.
Join us.
John. These guys are making me hungry. They're talking about barbecue over here in the comments.
You know, Dustin called me last
please.
week, and Dustin's like, you know what you should do? You should do an episode about, like, smoking. I'm like,
no, I think Dustin should do an episode about smoking.
Well, that's kind of what I was thinking afterwards.
He thinks that we
out. Well, I actually told him, if you want us to do it, then we need samples.
That's right.
And he said that I got my sample last year, but I don't remember my sample from last year.
No.
So
that's what you need to do, Dustin. You need to host a live stream and like pre-mail it out and be like, okay, here's what I did. Now taste. There you go.
Send now.
Nobody's doing that, Dustin.
And I wonder if I can share this. I can. So I'm going to try to tweet this. And
we're pretending like the issue from last week is not here, John.
To use Rumble, we got ya covered.
All the socias, you got them.
All the socias. The only thing
Snap.
so what should be working for us, Jarrod, because as you see, these are all popping up, and I think even if we hit this, like you see Dustin saying, hey, John, and you see the little YouTube icon right there next to him. So when other people comment, it should, in theory, be doing the same thing. Let me just So like if I do, I don't want to, you minimize your stuff. If I want to say, what? If I want to comment that, in theory, it should actually be posting on the thingamajigger and the whatchamacallit.
So I'm curious real quick. In the comments, we're having a discussion. John, do you and Dustin know one another outside of YouTube, or did y'all just meet and strike up a friendship kind of a thing?
You're failing your attempt. My understanding of it is they met through us and this podcast.
Huh. Well, there you go.
That's my understanding of it.
Connecting friendships across the world. Vlogbasters. That's like that's the subtitle. Grandma's listening. Hi, Grandma. Grandma needs to come in and teach a master class. That's Grandma I'm thinking about.
Yes. Giving the glory to God, I guarantee. Okay. Let me see. I got to do one more thing. But
we'll be here.
And
we'll be here, Josh.
Can watch on what?
Nothing. We're just hanging out while you're like linking up satellites in space. It's fine.
I am. I need the back cam, but it's. I don't know where it's at. It's around here somewhere. Okay, so Dustin says, where am I at? Hold on. Hey, John, you're failing the attempt. Morning, Dustin. You do that brisket yet? And Dustin says, figures. Every time I fired up the smoker this year, it ended up snowing. Whoever it was, really? He did a chicken on Saturday. Nice. Apparently,
very nice. Live
streaming is 5 words. Did you figure out the issue from last week? Maybe. I mean, we don't know what it was, but we might have figured it out inadvertently. I think Jarrod just tore everything down and then rebuilt everything.
Everything down. I got rid of all extra cords. I got rid of all extra anything that overlapped one another. That's all gone. Everything's streamlined. So we'll see on my end.
Yeah,
we'll see.
I did not do anything, so if it works, it must have been Jarrod's end. Had a master class on it, driving in the truck. Yeah, talking to Dustin. So yeah, John had sent me a message or sent Dustin a message. I don't know. They basically said, hey, Josh, will you be the conduit to pass cell phone numbers across? And I was like, whatever. It could be Josh's audio output settings from the macaroni. Macaroni? What was the macaroni? Oh, speaking of audio output settings, I might want to turn my volume
I have no idea what y'all just communicated to one another. What is the macaroni?
I have no idea.
Okay.
I don't know what the macaroni is. I bet mailing it out would taste wonderful. Well, you're going to have to figure out how to do that. I guess you're just going to have to hand deliver.
That needs to be a thing.
Yes. Grandma Benway and I are watching. Oh, and speaking of Facebook, what up? See, it worked.
I'm actually excited about this because if Grandma's in the house, then maybe Dustin will behave himself today. Maybe even you. Who knows?
Me behave myself? No. You want to know where I get my orneriness from? Yes, we have each other's phone numbers now. And yes, it was through the podcast. And Jason Ramsta saying, hello, Jen, Grandma Benway, and Dustin. What about us? What are we, chopped liver? Like, we're the hosts. We don't even say hi to us.
I don't know. We just facilitate relationships, apparently. Y'all talk amongst yourselves.
Apparently. Shenanigans could increase now. Sure.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, Grandma, and the sister-in-law that don't like me. Yep, that was funny. She didn't have his cell phone number, so she couldn't send him her new cell phone number. And the reason she couldn't send him her new cell phone number was because she didn't have his cell phone number because he's changed it like 3 times in the last 4 years.
So she hasn't had his cell phone number for 4 years?
Something like that.
She doesn't like you. You're right, Dustin. Good call.
She says, hi, Jarrod. Hi, Jason from Grandma and I. Oh, macaroni. Macintosh, the non-PC thing.
Got you. Yes. Today, actually, Joshua, I saw my first indication of a slowdown.
Did you? You know what I saw?
Yes.
I saw you and I talking and getting cut off again.
Welcome to the Vlogpastors Podcast, a podcast all about the stories and strategies of sharing God's love in the digital world. Now, here are two pastors that love to put a camera in their face and walk around in public. They are the peanut butter and jelly of digital ministry, Jarrod Brown and Joshua Verwers.
Do I do it?
That was Inception. I'm Joshua Verwers. And that guy...
I'm Jarrod Brown, and this is Vlogpastors.
And I almost spilled my coffee, which means I better calm down. Yeah, you're catching us on a lot of places. Actually, you're probably only catching us in one place because you're not like me running the Starship Enterprise where I've got it hooked up to absolutely everything in the world.
Engage.
Actually, it is the Go Gadget Studio. I better not say that too loud because if my phone hears me, then it will shut everything off or start everything back up again.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I have no idea what we're
talking
about.
Today, Joshua, he's in a little bit of an overload mode because he has so many different things going on. He's not kidding whenever he says he's running the Starship Enterprise. We want that back cam, Joshua, so we can see all screens pumping and all the different avenues going.
So the back cam isn't there, but I can give you the screenshot. So here is Vlogpastors on Twitter, and it is live. You can see us right there. Also, over here is Vlogpastors on Facebook. We've got a new page up. If you're not already following us, because there's only 2 followers, I don't know who they are. One of them is me. I don't know who the other one is. But you should go follow that as well. You can also follow us on Twitter if you feel like it, other than the fact that we're probably not going to be posting anything other than these once a week. And yes, of course, we're over here on good old YouTube and also over here on Rumble, which
howdy-ho.
I don't know what it is, but we're live and we're doing lots of stuff and things because that's what we do, and that's who we are.
That is what we do.
Yes, and by we...
peanut butter and jelly.
That's mostly me. Jarrod just sits there when I send him a message. I was like, what do you think about multi-streaming? He's like, yes to all of it.
Yes, do it.
As long as I don't have to contribute to the doing of it, do it.
Yes. That's always my caution, to be fair. I say, hey, man, I think that's a lot to bite off, but if you want to do it, go for it. And I usually come in at some point and like the gears are swinging around and there's smoke going and you're like licking things up. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's pretty much how it's been all morning.
We are grateful.
I'm glad I don't know how many people are actually watching on any in particular thing. Apparently there are 2 people that are watching on Rumble. So that's
awesome.
Exciting.
Hello, Rumble. That is something I'm really interested in. I want to see how that works out.
I don't know. I don't even know how to. Oh, wait. I could probably, I wonder if I went over to the actual Vlogpastors Twitter page, if it would show me anything. Or it's probably going to shut it down, which that would be equally hilarious. But I'm looking. Will it see? View tweet analytics. Yeah, it doesn't tell me much other than it just says there are 10 impressions, 3 engagements, 2 detailed expands. I'm guessing that means somebody clicked on something.
That's cool.
But
our maiden voyage into Twitter and Rumble. Very exciting. 2
live viewers, which one of them would be me because I'm on here right now. Actually, I don't know.
I might be the other one. We're watching ourselves.
Well, you would be one. I don't know if I'm actually because I'm logged into the Vlogpastors Twitter account, so I don't think it would count me.
I'm not. There's no way my internet could handle that.
And over here on the YouTubes, as you see, we've got 7 concurrent viewers or 6 concurrent. And warning, the stream's bitrate is lower than recommended bitrate. We recommend that you use a stream of 4,500. I have no idea what that means.
Yeah, engage, launch it.
And I'm not going to do anything right now. Yep, no clue. But anyways, and what was this? Oh, this is Facebook. Who's over here on Facebook? Is anybody on Facebook? I don't even know who I'm logged into. I should probably do. What if I do this? See all profiles. If I click over there, this will probably break something.
See if you can loop them around. I can break. YouTube to Twitter, Twitter to YouTube, Rumble.
Here on Facebook now. Oh man, click over there. Look at that. This will probably break something. Multiple audios. What's the overview?
I'm hearing you triple time in my headset. Is that supposed to happen? There we go. That's what I like to see.
Yeah, I had to mute it.
Inception.
Yeah. Look at that. Look at that. Keep going. It's just like bing, 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 bing. Anyhow, that's what all's going on. I don't have any of the actual statistics on Facebook. Apparently, it won't show me anything. But it says that we're streaming at 1080p there, so that's good. It is odd seeing my face over there. So I'm going back over to the YouTube studio. I'm familiar with that. And that being said, what have we got for comments in here? I'm about to break myself is what's going to happen. Okay. If I go back down.
We're just past macaroni.
Oh, we got here. Oh, wait, nope. Grandma says hi, Dustin, and your favorite sister-in-law also says hi.
We got the whole crew on.
So Dustin says, new job, had to change it, but Kiera and Josh had my number. I think Jarrod had it too, even though he doesn't ever respond or answer. This is true. It's not just you. He doesn't respond to me either. I am commenting from the past again. Ooh, I think Josh has more going on there than the vehicle I worked on Monday for a guy with no arms and no legs drives. Probably. Because this is a lot. Way too much. Whoever is on Coffee Due today needs to be ready. Are you just
gonna let that go?
What, a guy with no arms and no legs driving a vehicle?
Yeah.
Nah. What? Why? Oh, you got questions? Asking questions.
You don't? How are we driving said vehicle?
There are Tesla self-driving vehicles. I'm not worried about it. And
I'm down with it if it's self-driving, but are we talking? No arms and no legs.
Oh wait, no arms and no legs? Is that what I saw?
Thank you.
Wait,
That's what you said, or at least that's what my mind heard.
I think Josh has more going on there than a vehicle I worked on Monday for a guy with no arms and no legs that drives.
And no legs that drives.
No arms and no legs that drives.
That's why I say.
Now I'm confused. I saw the no arms and my head was off onto, I don't know, Back to the Future stuff.
Dude, could you imagine? Left turn now. Execute. Wait, 3, 2, 1, execute. Or are you driving with your nose or your lips or your tongue, or how's this work?
Have somebody put on a full helmet that's hooked up to electrodes.
Yes. But then you couldn't check. You couldn't look
tracking. Just eye tracking, like a little self camera. So when you look
what if you
left,
have a car coming and you look right and you turn into that car? Here he comes. Oh no.
I don't know.
A kid on a bicycle. Avoid the tree. Avoid the tree. Avoid the tree. Avoid the tree.
Self-control. John saying, is all streaming from Ecamm or from Restream or something else 100% Ecamm right now?
Come on, Ecamm.
It is all Ecamm and my super fast internet.
Dude, you've got to get some sort of what's that called? Affiliate. Do you have affiliates for Ecamm?
Yeah, I've got affiliates for Ecamm.
They need to make you the grand ambassador to Ecamm.
Well, if I would actually create more content about Ecamm and about what it can actually do, then I might actually be able to do that. But when I don't create as much content as I ought to, then I don't.
We should really dive into that here in a minute.
We probably should.
Making content and how much you're doing and not doing and productivity and whatnot.
Yep. Jason saying, same time, the Remsters are Dustin. Lol. Mm-hmm. Oh, the Remsters are Dustin. Lol.
Same
I have
time
no
the
idea.
Rimsters are, Dustin. That's how you got to go. Same time the Rimsters are, Dustin, but what was the question?
Oh, Dustin says I could smoke food while you visit, yeah.
Hang on. So when are the Browns coming to South Carolina to visit? Jason
same time the
Rimsters are.
Yeah. Which is probably the same time that I am.
Right behind you.
Which I have no idea when that's going to be.
I have no idea. Would
be
awesome.
Could smoke
absolutely
food
amazing
while you visit. I don't want to. Oh, he could smoke food. I was going to say I'm not going to smoke food.
Yeah, that's not my thing.
I was just talking about this morning. We were talking out at the bus barn about who cooks in a house. Is it the husband? Is it the wife type of a deal? I said both of us cook. Now, when Jen asks, what am I making for dinner? That means that I'm supposed to pull out my phone and find something and then order it.
Yeah.
And that's my cooking.
Perfectly acceptable.
I think so. I put in that effort and I made sure that food was served. Yep. So
absolutely. That would be my go-to if we were anywhere near civilization.
Yeah.
But they stopped delivering 15 miles that way.
Well, I think it's also me making dinner when I put us in the car and then drive somewhere and we sit down and we eat. That's still me making it.
Agreed. And dishes. You did dishes that night.
Exactly.
That's what I'm. There you go.
Yeah. Whenever I hear that it's my turn to make food, that means we are eating out, and there will be no dishes. And if there are dishes, that's where I'm thankful that I have 4 children, because somebody else will be doing them, not me.
Well, I even lean into it on her night because she's like, well, what should I make? What should I do? And I'm like, babe, no, just settle down. Let's go out. Let's go do something. Because honestly, I don't want her to be upset about having to head cook and then having to head clean something up, even though I do help. There's still some friction in there. So I'm like, listen, let's just go to Domino's. We'll knock this out. Be done.
Yeah.
We never go to Domino's. I'm lying to you. That's not going to happen.
Never going to Domino's.
No.
Although Domino's...
Smoke it, though.
Smoke it. No, don't smoke it.
Smoke it.
We
smoke
don't
it,
do
Dustin.
autonomous.
So
No
what do you do?
autonomous
How?
driving.
Answer, please. John, the suspense is killing me.
Okay, I guess he has like a 2-inch section of arms. Well, see, that's all you need.
You know I want to animate this. I'm trying to figure it out in my head.
You're trying to figure out how to animate it in your mind without being offensive.
Yes. Therefore, my hands will be locked together in front of me as I work through this. I think I've got it.
Mine will not be, because I'm not worried about being offensive. I will be doing...
You are on Rumble. How do you get it done? I was going more for one of these. Like, maybe there's like an attachment.
I was doing the no arms thing, so...
And then you just
with a 2-inch section...
Like, where you turn in that wheel. Like that.
And that's not meant to be offensive at all. If somebody thinks that it's offensive, that is meant to say, dude, if you're a guy with no arms, no legs, and by arms, we mean a 2-inch section of arms, and you can drive, you win.
Like John, seriously, show me a picture of this. There's got to be some sort of linkage that...
He says he can send you a video later.
Thank you.
And there we go. How about Vlogpasters on the road to South Carolina for, what does it say?
Brisket vlog.
Brisket vlog?
Yes.
How about no?
Listen, we're going to need a trial. That's what I'm saying. I say next week, maybe week after, a box arrives at my doorstep on Wednesday morning around 10:30.
Yep.
And it's ready to go. It can be done. My brother works for Alaska Air, and they'll package it up, man. Make sure you're good to go.
But just keep in mind that I'm not reheating anything. So if it needs to be reheated, he has to coordinate with Genevieve. She can reheat it. I'm not doing it. I'm just here to open mouth and... No, I like a microwave. I use it all the time.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't use it. Genevieve uses it. I don't use it. Remember, my type of cooking is grabbing the phone. So if I have to reheat it, I'm going to be texting Genevieve and say, hey, you know that brother-in-law that thinks that you don't like him? He would like you to heat this up so I can eat it, so Jarrod and I can review it on a podcast.
Oh, my goodness. You're
Who
spoiled
is
rotten.
beeping in at me now? What was that?
It's no me, boss. I hope it's not me.
John just messaged me is what it says. Oh, is this going to be a video? He just sent an attachment.
Shall we? Are you bold enough to open this attachment while you've got the space launch going on?
John says that was me. John, if that was you, you have to give me permission to share this, because that was sent in a direct message. They're not private messages anymore. They're just direct messages. I think we've all figured out that there is no such thing as a private message, especially in the United States of America, because they want to spy on absolutely everything that we have. Although,
I am so glad you're coming around. Let's do this.
Did you hear that Twitter is actually going to be implementing a section of the
encrypted?
Oh. Okay, he says go ahead, because this is a reel by the guy. Hold on. Where's the audio? There's
First of all, John, this van is gangster. I love it already. Look at this thing.
All right, refresh it. Audio's on.
People are always asking me how I drive with no arms and legs. Come on, I'll show you.
Yes.
I press the button here and open the ramp.
John.
I drive in and lock into place. Climb in the seat and use these switches to turn the seat. Buckle up, it's the law.
That's
I
right.
have this panel here for horns, turn signals, lights, shifting, and everything else. Pedals are raised up so I can reach. Start
Slow
the
your
car
roll,
and we're
sir.
ready to go. This is how you drive a car with no hands. People are always asking me how
Mom,
no hands. Look, Mom, no hands. Did you see
I
that
mean, that's rather impressive.
John, that's amazing.
I tip my hat. That is amazing. Yep.
So wait. All of the buttons. As I said, it was way too fast. Like, number one, how did he get a seatbelt on? And we cut right through that. And all of us video people are like,
Well, it might be one of those that's like you remember back in, was it 90s, where they had the auto ones that as soon as you like shut a door, it automatically retracts and covers you up. Don't you ever remember those?
I do, but there was a belt. He grabbed a belt with one arm, so.
Oh, I didn't pay attention to that.
And then
I was still looking at the van, and I'm like, black on black on black on black.
That was
like
awesome. That was awesome. It looked good.
Wait. There it was. Hold on, I'll go back. Hold on, I'll go back. Wait. Let me see if I can I?
Right here. Yes. So that is on his weak side, apparently. I mean, sorry, it sounds bad, but most of his attachments are on his right side. So look, he's got his right arm.
Yeah, so the seatbelt is there. It looks like it's just shoulder. Well, no, there is a little bit of maybe there's a lap there. I don't know.
This dude's awesome. Look at him.
But I did see, and it's a Chevy Traverse. Interesting. I would not have thought of Chevy.
Did you get a chance to meet him? Because this human being is amazing. Dude, murdered out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's, all right. Ooh, right there.
This thing is.
So it's already buckled in here in the seat.
He gets in it.
But it does look, if you look back here on it, almost, I can't tell if that's just like the window frame or if that's one of those tracks. But I can't quite tell. Either way, I don't know. Maybe he gets in there.
John says, it's the standard seatbelts. So it's standard seatbelt.
Well, then
that's
he's got to figure
awesome.
it out. I think it's awesome, yeah.
That's awesome. Show me more of those things, John. I want to see that all day long.
Yes. That is pretty slick. While I'm thinking about it, I better exit out of Facebook, though, just because the chime will come in, and as soon as somebody figures out that they can send me a direct message on Facebook and all of a sudden interrupt my train of thought by going, pa-ting, then all of a sudden I'm just going to get flooded with them. So I've already logged out. Don't even think about it. I'm closed. It's done. And the phone is on mute and nothing else has notifications. Now that tells me I need to shut off my Facebook notifications. Anyhow, Dustin says it will not be hotmailed from South Carolina to Texas and Iowa. Well, it doesn't have to. Ooh, how about I just send you my barbecue sauce?
No, for me, I mean, yes, I would love your barbecue sauce, but I'm going to.
Is it sugar-free?
Not do it justice.
And if it's not, how about no? However, if you got some hot sauce and it's not too hot. Speaking of hot sauce, Jarrod.
What's so funny? I don't get it.
Oh, your video. I laughed so hard. And then I felt so bad for all of your friends, because why would you? You knew that was your punishment. Why would you subject them to share in your punishment? I did yours by myself. I did the bomb by myself.
Here's why I did it. And I'm sure you have friends like this. But those young men in my church would not let me live it down. If they were to see me do that, they're going to go, oh, it wasn't that hot. So to preemptively cut them off at the pass, I invited them all over, everyone who likes spicy things, to say, let's all do this together. And Shane had been prepping, because this took months, you know. One, we were going to do it for passing 1,000 subscribers, and I'm currently growing at a rate of 0.5 subscribers per month. So that took a smidgen of time to get everything together. And when we finally did it, it was like, well, maybe I'll go back down, because I started making different material and I lost like 20 something subscribers. So I was like, well, let's just give this a minute. That took a while. And so when we finally got it there to celebrate, we didn't even end up celebrating 1,000 like that wasn't even the point of the video. We just wanted to eat spicy things and get after it.
Yeah.
So he had some time to come up with the chips. We had come across the bulldog noodles and then those spicy wings. The thing that went wrong, I think I know what went wrong. Number one, that chip is just stupid. The 2023 chip. Apparently, there's different iterations of it, and 2023 it's a nasty year. But
I saw too many of those things where they did the one chip challenge from previous years, and I was like, no, ain't gonna do it. Once I had to bomb once, it was like, no, I'm never doing this again. I will never subject myself to that kind of punishment ever again.
I understand now. That's what I didn't understand before. I'm like, it's just spicy things. We've had all of the Hot One sauces, including the Last Dab X, the Last Dab Chocolate, the Last Dab Double. All the sauces we've had it, except for the bomb. Didn't try that one, but now I understand.
So here's the thing.
I totally
understand.
One
of the recent episodes of Hot Ones, I don't remember who he was on with, and Sean actually admitted that Da Bomb is the hottest of the sauces. It always ends at the number 8 position. Because they didn't think it was hot. On the Scoville level, it's not the hottest. But when it actually hits your tongue and the effects that it has on the body, it is the hottest. And he actually admitted the number 8 is the hottest. Once you've gotten past that, the rest are hot, but they're not nearly as bad. And that thing was brutal. I was miserable. And I was like, oh, no. Like, no, nope, you're getting yours back.
So you sent that thing to me when? And here's my mistake.
I don't know. It was last year, maybe last August, I think.
A long time ago. This sauce is over a year old. And whenever we got it out and started pouring it on, it was like, it smells bad. Yeah. Like it may have gone a little rancid. So here we have rancid wings that are just liquid fire. It was rough. It was very rough. When we're eating those things, like, they're not kidding. It smells like fish. It smells like fish food is what he's saying. But it smells like fish. It smells like vinegar, just straight vinegar, almost like it's separated out. It smells like vinegar and fish and all the bad things. And whenever you put it in your mouth, it confirms what your nose was smelling. And there's I think on the wings, if I recall, there's no separation between spice, like hitting your mouth, and heat. It was just like ba-boom.
Yeah.
The chip has a build to it. It's fast, but dude, hats off though. Hats off, man. That was some spice. That was beyond any of the sauces that I'd had. And then to have that chip on the back end, we had the spicy noodles, and they were a coolant. Those were awesome. They just tasted good. That was to get the nasty vinegar out of your mouth, the fish vinegar.
Yep.
No, but dude, you had your revenge. You had your absolute revenge on that one.
Well, I guess I could probably. Actually, I don't even remember where I know where I got it. I know it was in the Mall of America. So, and I know I was with Logan. I don't remember if I was with Reagan or not. If I was with Reagan and Logan, it would have been last August. If it was just Logan and I, it would have been well before that. So, I don't know. But it was one that I walked into that place. And they're like, "Are you looking at anything in particular?" And I said, "Actually,
you're like, yes."
And they're like, "Well, okay. So what are you looking for?" And I was like, "Something that
outer ring of hell."
Pretty much. I was like, I need something that is so hot that it will act as a sort of revenge for someone who I think I'm calling a friend. However, he sent me Da Bomb, so I don't know. We'll see if we have a friendship after he tries whatever it is that you're going to give me. And they walked over, and this thing, this small, it's like a tiny little bottle. Yep. It's a vial. And she's like, "Oh, this is plenty. Like, you won't need any more of this." I'm like, all right. I don't even know if they sold big bottles of it. I think it was just the small little vials. So
there were 10 wings. There were 10 wings in that batch. And it's lightly coated, and then we doubled back down again for a second toss. I didn't get that filmed. But it's every ounce of that bottle has mopped up on those wings, and it was bad. It was so bad, man.
Yeah. Oh, Josh also lost it at the Mall of America. I did not lose it. Logan lost it.
Fair.
Logan lost it at the Mall of America.
Forgot about that.
Which, if that's the case, that would have been Logan's 16th birthday, which would have been 2 years ago.
It's been a long time.
So it would have been If that was the case, yeah, because I think it was Logan's birthday, because he wound up losing it was a CD and something. Yeah, because it was his 16th birthday. We went up to the Mall of America. We had Bubba Gump shrimp, and then, I don't know, something else. But yeah, it was definitely him. So
it was a bad call on my end. I probably should have checked all that and remembered that it was so old, because every last one of us had some tummy issues on the back end of that. And it was like, I don't know whether this is the sauce going bad or whether this is just all the fire going in.
Yeah.
Okay, so
No.
that night
Mhm.
was my retirement. And I understand why you're like, hey, I'm done. I'm not
Done.
That was my retirement. I'm done. No more spicy challenges. I'm out.
Nope.
I don't care. I don't need to prove manhood anymore.
Nope.
Like all that is absolutely done and over with.
And it's documented. So if anybody ever wants to challenge you, be like, I've got video evidence. I did it.
Well,
I don't have to ever do it again.
10 minutes after the whatever it was to hit the first rung, and I was underneath that sink.
Yeah.
I was sucking from it. But I'll tell you what, that night, I thought my intestines had burned open, or like some sort of hole had been gouged in it, and I was like, I'm dying. I am literally dying. This was dumb.
Yeah.
You know, I got tricked into something. The enemy tricked me into something, and I'm going out like this. You know, I need to get into the hospital. There was a couple minutes where I'm like, okay, Lord, I need some wisdom here. And do I need to go into the hospital? Are you going to heal me, or is this it for me? Like, we need to get square. And
Dude, that was the same thing with me with the bomb, because I had it that night, and of course, I mean, you saw it. Everything that I did in that video when I did it, that was legit. It was a one-take thing. It was like, I'm going to take just a little bit, and then I was like, no, because if I do a little bit, somebody's going to be like, oh, you just barely put any on. So I had to like lather it all up.
You slathered it.
And then it was slathered up, and then I was like, but I did that off camera. So then it was like, oh, well, now I've got to show that it actually is. So then I poured a little bit more on, and then bit from the end with the extra on. And I remember editing that thing like the next day or whatever, day after, I can't remember, I had to heal up. And I'm typing, rethinking all of my life decisions. Because I was, in that moment, it was like, where did I go wrong in my life to lead to this point? Like, yes. I thought I was doing a good thing, but now I feel like I'm in hell. And it burned. It burned so bad. Well, the gut hurt. The only thing that actually saved, because I tried milk. I think I did almond milk. I think I did heavy cream. I did ice cream, did pickles, drank pickle juice. The only thing that worked was taking the little pint of ice cream and putting the whole pint on my tongue. That was the only thing that provided relief. So it was like, this is disgusting. I remember telling Jen that night, I was like, she's like, how are you doing? I was like, I don't know. Like, I might need to go to the hospital because this is bad. And then if that wasn't bad enough, the next morning I wake up and I got to go to the bathroom. Yeah. And then it burnt again. It was like, it burned on the way in, it burned on the way out. And I was like, no, this is, and I can't take a pint of ice cream now. It's like,
just hold it on the other end. I'm sorry for that. Okay. So here's the thing though. I didn't realize that and check me, you spicy people, food lovers, foodies, capsaicin, or however you want to say that, capsaicin, since it is a pain receptor and you're like, it triggers pain receptors. When you put it on your tongue, you're not actually tasting spice. I mean, there is a little bit of spice to it, a little bit of flavor, but it's basically causing pain reacting. You still have nerves and senses, pain receptors all the way through your digestive tract. So that is what it's catching it fresh every time, is what I understand. So as it's going through your intestines, as it hits your stomach, starts going through your intestines, it's firing off those pain receptors, and you're feeling it for the first time as it hits new segments of your digestive tract. And it's like, oh, that was miserable.
Yeah.
That was miserable.
I don't know if that's exactly how it works, but that's how it feels like it works. Because it...
Well, yeah. Somebody correct me on that, but that...
It is. Misery is the perfect definition. Because it was just, no. Like, no. So from that moment on, like, no. I'll go to Wingstop, which... Do you guys have a Wingstop down there?
We do, yes.
Is Wingstop we have not the greatest?
It's amazing. Well, here's the problem. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to say this. Yes, the wings are amazing. However, ours have been a little bit mismanaged down here because we have carpet in ours. Yes. So the nearest towns to us have carpet inside of their wing place, and so beer gets spilled, food gets spilled, and it smells like a shoe when you go in there. Food is amazing, smells like a shoe.
I'll go into Wingstop. It's now my favorite wing place when, at least in this state. So it's Wingstop, then Buffalo Wild Wings after that. And Wingstop, I go in and I look at their heat chart and it's like, nope, whatever's right in the middle. Maybe just one step above that, but nothing more than that. So like their original hot or whatever it is, that's what I'm getting. That and the
Asian Zing, baby.
No, I don't do the Asian Zing because I for some reason I don't like that type of a flavor. And they had one that was recently, it was like a Carolina Gold or Carolina Heat or something like that. It was all right. It's just too sweet for me. I'm not a big fan of it. But they've got it's a Cajun, like Cajun pepper or something like that, or Louisiana dry rub. That's what it is. I love the Louisiana dry rub. And it's not even, I don't even think it's hot. It's just got a little bit of a bite, just so that I know it's there. It's a little forward and saying, oh, by the way, I'm on your tongue, just so you know. That's what I like. I like that stuff. But anything hotter than that, no. Like Buffalo Wild Wings, I'm pretty much going with the medium, or the mild, or not the mild. The medium's usually where I go on that. I might go hot every now and then. Just kind of depends. The bottles of Buffalo Wild Wings sauce that you can buy from the store, I think the hot winds up being too hot, which means I'm probably just making it too hot by putting too much on. But the medium seems to be working perfect for the amount that I like to slather it up in.
So have I told you the meat and pig story? If I have, I won't reshare it.
I don't think so.
The mean pig from my Air Force days whenever we were in the dormitories together going through tech school. What we would do, we were in Little Rock, Arkansas. And on the weekends, there was this competition. There was this really spicy barbecue sauce that was at this restaurant. It was called, and I'm going to get it wrong because 15 plus years is going to, take its toll on my mind. It was either the meat and pig or it was the mean pig. And as you're walking up to do it, there's all these pictures on the wall of people who have eaten a whole sandwich. It's a chopped beef sandwich slathered in this sauce. And as you're walking up, they have toothpicks in hand because they know why you're there. They have toothpicks in hand and you have to take a toothpick. And after you take a toothpick, indicating that you want to try this burger, enter into this competition, take the toothpick. You then have to verbally say, yes, I want to do this, and sign a waiver. That you won't sue them, no bad stuff, comes back on them.
Anytime there's a waiver, it's like, why?
You take the toothpick. I walk up to this thing. I take the toothpick, and it stole my breath. It was like, this is so hot. So we go through the line, we process through the line. I'm thinking, what have I gotten into? I can't feel my face, and this is just a toothpick. And these sandwiches are dripping this sauce. You have to clean up the whole sandwich. It's just dripping. And so me and my buddies, we're out there. We're going to prove our manhood. We go sit down at a table. They come and deliver it, and I'm thinking, I'm going to watch first. So I'm sitting there, and I'm watching. There's a handful of us together. And I'm watching, and one buddy, he just gets right into it. He's going to start chowing down. 1, 2, 3, and he goes after it. He gets halfway through, and the reason I think he got so far is because his snot covered the sandwich so thoroughly that I think it was diluting some of the sauce. And I watched my other friend, he took one bite of the thing. He took one bite and was like, that's it. He was the wise one of us. He was the wise one. And I went after this thing. I'm like, okay, I saw him. He bogged down at halfway. So the goal is go as fast as you can through this thing. And I went in there and I took one bite. I ended up getting 4 or 5, about halfway like the other guy. But into that sandwich, my man, never in my life, it was such pain. Just like the chip, it was the chip on steroids, such pain that you had to stop. And they came over, the waitresses would come over and say, listen, no milk, no ice cream, no water will save you at this point. You just have to endure. Well, we had a movie scheduled afterwards. So we asked them, we signed a waiver, we talked to him, we said, hey, we got a buddy we want to take this to. They said, whatever happens off the premises, he doesn't get any of the rewards, but if you want to torture him, just sign the waiver and go. So we took the burger with us. We did not make it to the movie because we all got out of the car at the parking lot to go into the movie, and we were like, we can't do this. We're like puking on the side of the car. Most of us are sitting in the fetal position. We're like, whoever can drive, just get us home. So we go back home. But before we head off to our own dorms to suffer in silence, we stop by the guy, our buddy who's working CQ, and we say, listen, we got you a burger. we got you a sandwich, and you're going to love it. And so he bites into the thing. He's like, it smells spicy. And we're like, yeah, that's kind of the thing. It's really spicy. I love spicy things. He eats it dead-faced the whole time, straight through the thing. And we're like, what just happened? So, hey, hats off to you, man. If you'd have done that with us, there's nothing to it. If you'd have done that with us, man, you'd have gotten your face on the, picture on the wall, all the T-shirts, So we go off to bed, and I get up that night. I go walk into the common area, and there he is, because he had to work. There he is over the bucket, the trash can. Rah! Rah! calling up those whales. Anyway, dude, never in my life have I seen something so spicy. The guy with the snot will stick with me forever. There was so much snot over that sandwich. Amazing. There you go. You're welcome.
Welcome to the Vlogpasters podcast, where we talk about bodily fluids.
The meat pig or the mean pig? You got to try it out.
That's crazy. Well, I think we probably went off the rails enough for this episode this morning. How about we get on track?
Sure. What are we talking about?
Well, you want to talk about one thing. I want to talk about the other.
What? Talk about whatever you want to talk about. I'm down for the ride. I got to tell my story about.
All right.
Snot.
Nefarious.
Oh. God.
Nefarious.
Okay, tell me about Nefarious.
Nefarious.
So here's my report. I know nothing about Nefarious. Here's what I know about Nefarious. I saw the poster that has this weird-looking face on it, and I saw a bunch of Christian friends saying, "Oh, you got to go see Nefarious." One of my buddies, who also gave me the report whenever we discussed the Jesus Revolution movie, where I was looking at it like, I don't understand where all the drama's coming from. So same guy, so take it with a grain of salt. He watches Nefarious, and he comes back and he goes, "Dude, that movie is messed up." And he said, whoever made it, though, has interacted with demonic activity, at least knows how these things are subtle and then expressive, and then subtle and will hide and kind of play games with the folks trying to set people free. I don't know what happened in the movie because I'm not going to go see it. It was enough of it to go, why do I want to watch that? But so you text me.
I know who made the movie.
This movie's amazing.
Yeah, it is. I know who made the movie. It's not so much that he's necessarily got any more personal interaction with demonic activity than we all have. What it is that he's actually read his Bible and believes the Bible to be 100% true, and realizes that the majority of Christians out there, they only believe some of the Bible is 100% true. So they'll say, I believe it's authentically true, until you start talking about the fact that there is demonic activity, and demonic activity is real, and demonic activity is very subtle, and we don't even recognize how often and how easily we can play with it and mess around with it, and be completely unaware. And because of that, he's like, he made it for two audiences. Really two audiences. Those that are sensitive to the things, maybe not even sensitive. Those who are, at least they haven't completely hardened their hearts and written off God, but they're definitely not serving God, and they like to dabble in the stuff, whether willingly or unwillingly, knowingly, unknowingly. And because of that, they're likely the ones that are going to go watch a psychological thriller, a horror movie, and they enjoy that stuff. So he made it for that audience. But in that audience, they're going to realize quickly, this is not a psychological thriller first. It is a faith-based movie first. We just kind of wrapped it in a psychological thriller packaging so that we could get you in here and then hit you with the truth. The second audience that he made it for are Christians that, as I described, they may not understand that there are times that we will open ourselves up to things and it's like, oh yeah, you need to be aware of this. You need to understand. So they made it for two audiences. I think they went the perfect amount of pushing the envelope and doing some shock and awe with the first audience. I don't think they went far enough for the second audience. The second audience that Christians need to wake up. And I don't think he went far enough. I think they were already getting an R rating on this. Why? I mean, I guess if I understand, wasn't The Passion of the Christ rated R too when it first came out? So even just describing the crucifixion garners you an R rating. Just describing it. So the Bible is an R-rated book based just on that. So when I understand that, to me, it's like, well, if you're already going to give me an R rating and I haven't even shown anything, I just talked about it. Well, now a picture's worth 1,000 words. I'm going to show you. So me going at the Christian, the church audience, I would have taken it a step further. Understanding they were trying to reach both audiences, I think they did it right, because I think if they had went farther, it would have been completely repulsive rather than just challenging and convicting.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, you have to go see this movie.
Well, I have to be careful here because I actually preached on this last week, and this wasn't the point of it, but it was one of the side illustrations. And I'm concerned that all the congregation took away was that Jarrod doesn't watch scary movies, and you shouldn't watch scary movies or open yourself up to something like that. Yeah. That was not
I don't watch scary movies.
That was not my purpose. But I am curious if in that movie they were able to find the theme of light is greater than darkness and not just scare their audience into some sort of worship.
It's
some
not
sort of
a
fear
scary
or worship.
movie. It's not a scary movie. It is
the artwork and the testimonies afterwards say otherwise.
Oh, it's packaged that way. They button hooked people left and right. And it's like, you look at the reviews that are all negative reviews. Now, the crazy thing is, like, on Rotten Tomatoes, it has maybe the best ratings that are out there. I'm going to actually try to pull it up just because. Let's see. Rotten Tomatoes, Nefarious. Yeah, I love this. Look at it. The audience score is giving it a 96% with well over 500 verified reviews.
Well, sometimes you get that with Christian movies.
The Tato-meter
supporters come back and just blow it up.
The critics are saying this is horrible. It's at 93%, which you can look at some of those. And I saw
I don't trust them as far as I can throw them. It's always about the audience.
Well, to me, if it's a Christian video, the higher this is and the lower that is, the more likely I am to love it.
Yeah.
And it's been down in the low 30s from day one. I think this was up as high as 98. Then it dropped down to like 94, and then it was back up, obviously, now to 96. So
these
to me,
these are the same teams that are making like the Jesus Revolution and that, right? All those videos. This is the same group.
They made. Let's see, who was it? Let me see if I can find it here.
I was looking into this the other day because it was like who's making the quality stuff that Christians are actually starting to like?
Here you go. So this is Carrie Solomon, writer, director, Nefarious, God's Not Dead, Unplanned, God's Not Dead 2, Do You Believe, Finding Normal. Like, that's some of that, and I think the other writer... now this is all based off of another book. So the God's Not Dead stuff.
Okay.
And like the funny thing is, like, even looking at like God's Not Dead 2 or the original God's Not Dead, audience score was only 75. So they're like, yeah, it was good. But like you look at these that they've made where there's a drastic like audience or the critics hated that, but the audience, they give it a 75. Do You Believe? 83%, 25. Not Dead 2, even lower. I'm not familiar with Unplanned. But then like I look at this and it's like, that is huge. And even some of the critics that have reviewed that, they're like, okay, so the acting was amazing and the story, they did a good job on it, and the filming, the cinematography, like it's great. The message, can't stand it. And that's where if you're getting an honest critic, they're kind of doing it that way. They're like, so as far as production quality, great. As far as everything else, not a big fan of it. Apparently Dustin wants to send me more barbecue sauce again.
How did that come up?
Because it had switched scenes before I was able to remove it and hide it.
I get you. I get you.
So to me, no, it's not a scary movie. Like there was that movie Nope that came out, and I saw the preview for Nope, and as soon as I'm watching it, I looked at Genevieve and I was like, nope. Like, nope. And she's like, what? I was like, nope. No, not watching it. I watched the show Supernatural. And when I first watched it, it was like, I mean, it was all right.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, they started to delve into a little bit more realness of what is really out there. And when they did that, like instant check in my spirit. And I was like, nope, not watching this anymore.
So, a friend of mine, we used to sit around. We'd watch those horror films, and our favorites were the more real ones. So we would watch things like Exorcist, Exorcism of Emily Rose, those types of movies. And we found that like we call it like watching film, like on the game day. You're studying for what it was,
right?
But got to where like those memories would stick with you, and you just. You couldn't shake some of those images and some of those circumstances. And even though it's fictitious, even though it's
right,
you're just like, wait a minute, the people who made this to inspire or to instill fear inside of whoever watched it in this entity, in this whatever this is. And in the demonic. And I don't want to open myself up to something like that. So that's why I'm very cautious around something like Nefarious, because I hear you.
I would be shocked.
Christians does not give them a pass.
I text you on this when I mentioned it, and I said I would be shocked if you specifically would not like this movie.
Is this something like we deal with this on a day-to-day basis? I don't need to go see a redundant
no.
Well, this was Tuesday.
No, so this is it's not going to be one of those. This is just another day. It's not going to be one of those that it's studying game film. Maybe a little bit of that, but not like you're talking about it. It's not going to be something that I think that any of the demonic depiction that is in there, because it addressed some of that, but it's not forward. It's more about this demon that is describing how he got to where he is and what he does and what his plans are and how subtle it is. And it's one of those that most Christians are completely unaware about that stuff. Because we dabble in it all the time and we don't even realize it. We open ourselves up to these things, and because we don't realize it, we're not prepared for it when that attack comes to then be able to do that spiritual battle and withstand it. And that's the thing that they did a great job in how it is. I fully believe that every single Christian needs to hear this, so that we can be more aware of the battle that is truly out there that we're mostly oblivious to. I then also firmly believe that every single American needs to watch this. And then I think the whole world needs a version of it.
As long as, final question for you. You've almost got me talked into giving an example just because relationship equity between the two of us.
And I want to give one caveat to it, though.
I'm not a dualist. My vote doesn't matter, doesn't tip the scales in the resistance of the demonic attack against, me or my family, but my yes in submission to a loving God who has already won the war, does seem to play into these things. So, is it like that? Like, is this one of those where we're rallying the troops, we're rah-rahing the troops, because if we don't make our stand against the enemy, then, then he wins, kind of a thing? Is it one of those? Because if that's the case, just me not being a dualist, that also does not interest me.
No, I think there are some that they're going to hear it that way, because there are certain terms and phrases that are used that it might be a whistle for them to rally them, but I think it's going to be very few. Okay. I think this is going to be a more be on guard, be aware, and maybe even just giving us some spiritual weaponry for where our faith and our culture collide, and being able to address some things because of at least understanding the spirit behind the culture war that's out there, which that's what I think a lot of Christians don't get. They think that the culture war is all political. It's not. It's a spiritual culture war. Like, you can look at the demise of our culture and you can go back. Every time they try to remove God from everything, there's a consequence that happens with it. And if we would understand that, then we know the only real solution to it. It's not about who's ever sitting in the White House. It's whoever's sitting on the throne. That's what the world really needs. But even that, it's not so overt that it's doing that. It's more just to get you thinking and really contemplating. If there's any fear that this movie tries to instill, it's the fear of the Lord. That's what it's trying to get. Here's the caveat. Everybody listening, if you go watch it, wait until after the previews are over before you actually go into the theater. Because everything that you and I are talking about with the scary movies and the real depictions and stuff like that, where they're trying to influence us in those ways, that's what actually is happening in the previews. That was the one big downfall of this. Like, I think their approach in making it a psychological thriller to try to capture that first audience that they're looking at, great, understand it. The downfall of that is then that's the audience that is looking for all of these other films, which are going to be on the previews before the movie is played, that you're going to start to be exposing yourself and seeing. So as soon as I walked in and the first one popped up, I immediately pulled out the phone and I'm doing this. And it was like, not listening, not listening, not listening, not la, 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 la. Because I just didn't want to see it, didn't want to hear it. And then made sure that, Genevieve and Micah, which we took our youngest 13 to see this too, and she liked it. She enjoyed it, and she's very sensitive to scary things as well. So it was like, no, she's like me. If it's scary, nope, not handling it, not gonna do it. Nope, just nope. That being said, I loved the movie. Good. Like, I loved it. I was hoping I could go back and watch it a second time this week. It's not
watch it a second time. Oh, when's the last movie that you went and watched twice?
I have no idea. In the theater, I have no idea. Yeah. I have no idea when the last. It was probably maybe The Passion. Like, I can't think of a movie that I've actually watched multiple times in the theater. And that's the thing. This is a very dialogue-heavy movie. So there's a lot of dialogue in it. And there were so many things that, like, something was said, and I'm like... and then I notice, oh, he didn't stop talking. So my shock just made me miss the last 30 seconds of it because I couldn't get this gaping mouth off my face. And it's just like... So yes, I want to go back and see it a second time. The problem is, as far as ticket sales and stuff, I don't think they did a great job of advertising it. Like every other faith-based film out there.
It just popped up out of nowhere.
Yeah. Every other faith-based film that was out there had a lot more advertising. They only really advertised it to like a specific target demographic, and it was primarily posted through like, Blaze TV, because Blaze put up a lot of money for this. It's based off a book that Steve Dace wrote. So his show was posting a lot of it. And that's about it. Like there was some grassroots kind of marketing with that, But as far as big marketing, there wasn't much of a budget. It's a very low budget film with excellent acting in it and an amazing story. I want to go see it again. I'm going to go see it again. I don't know if I'm going to be able to see it in a theater, but I want to go see it in a theater again. 1, to take the rest of my kids to go see it. 2, to take myself to go see it again because I want to see it again. 3, I want to give them more money because I want them to start doing more of this.
I got you. Like, what are you saying?
I want the makers of Nefarious to get more money out of this because I want this to encourage them in a way of saying, yes, make more. Make more.
Maybe
and then
not
as
God's
soon
not
as
dead, but more.
Well, yeah. Like more good, compelling stories that are capturing our attention. And like the thing that annoys me about Christianity in general, and this is even with some of us, you and I doing, online entertainment, we can call it. Here's the deal. I don't think that the church can compete when it comes to a Hollywood production. I don't think the church can compete when it comes to making amazing music. The only area that I think the church can actually compete is with an eternal message that is greater than everything else. The only way that we can compete is by introducing them to the only relationship that truly withstands the test of time. And to me, that's where our emphasis needs to be at. It needs to be focusing and pointing that and making sure that we're directing them to that. I think too often we try to be cute and we try to be clever and we try to take too much of the world's ways of doing things. And then in doing that, we miss out on the message. This was a case where I thought they were going to be cute and clever, and they button hooked me, and it was like, oh, this isn't psychological thriller at all. This is 100% faith-based film.
That's exactly what they need to do, man. Because if I've been thinking about this, that whole God's Not Dead thing, while enjoyable on a cutesy type of scale, or Left Behind, or whatever the mess all those movies were about.
Yeah.
That's not the way you do it. That if you're going to be like trying to entertain people in the world system, like you were saying, from the world strategy, then it's just going to come off hokey.
Yeah.
And it's not going to relate. It's not going to connect. But if you can shift your perspective and, like you're saying, begin to tell those eternal stories. I mean, there's some really great ones, and I think The Chosen has tapped into that. If you can make some of those, if you can make those relevant, if you can. Maybe not go word for word or even idea for idea sometimes, but if you can know the one who has inspired some of the, those thoughts, or you have those moments in your life that you can connect those and bring them to screen, I think those guys are doing an incredible job.
And even like this is kind of one of those fictitious modern day real life faith testimonies almost. It's in that vein. And it's like, it's good. I heard somebody call it a modern, right. Somebody called this like a modern version of the Screw Tape Letters by C.S. Lewis. And
well, here's the thing is, man, like
fair.
We're trying to reinvent the wheel. We're trying to make it like something good for the whole family. But like you said, the Bible is rated R. If we told these stories to maximum potential, they're going to be pretty racy at times. Maybe we do put ratings on them so that the kids don't go to all of them. But to the person who was stuck in maybe a sexual addiction or sold through, sex trafficking, but they have a God story of redemption and reconciliation, then my goodness, let's tell those stories. Yeah. But you're not, anyway.
Yeah, and that's where I think
you're going to show everything. Good night.
Right. And that's where yeah, exactly. There's some stuff in there that's I'm even down. Wondering, what is it? There's a new animated film coming up that's about David, and it's it's a animated, almost Pixar type of style. And the previews that I've seen early on, I don't think it's out till next year maybe or the year after, but the early renderings and stuff, like this looks amazing. At the same time, they've got to water down the story. Like you can't even tell David and Goliath.
That is a savage story.
It is.
He's bathed
brutal
in blood kind of a thing.
It is brutal. So you can't even do that with 100% accuracy. So it's like, you've got to tone that down, but there are principles in there that you can tell those things. There's a lot that we can do, that we ought to do. I recommend it. Like, as soon as it comes to streaming, as soon as it's available to purchase for streaming, I will be buying that. And there's a lot of movies that I watch on streaming. The last movie that I bought on streaming was John Wick 3. Well, that's because I bought the bundle. Actually, I think I bought 1 and 2 as a bundle package, and then when 3 came out, I bought 3. That was the last one that I actually paid the $20 for, because it was like, I want them to make another one. I'm going to give them my hard-earned money because I want them to make another one. I'm going to do that with Nefarious. Like, I want them to have my money because I want them to make more. Maybe not more psychological thrillers, but
need a break.
But more that are very impactful and are really, like, timely. Like, it needs to be, for such time as this. And that's where I think this one, it landed on there. So go see it. And then once you see it and you hate it, then you can come back on here and tell everybody that you hate it.
And I will tell you how wrong you are, and we'll go through the whole deal. Hey, side note, Rabbit Trail. Why do you think John Wick has not slacked? It's in its 4th iteration. The sequel comes out, it's good. The trilogy comes out, it's good.
Because Keanu Reeves,
quadrilogy.
Because of Keanu Reeves. For multiple reasons. Keanu Reeves is one of the best action stars there is. He devotes himself to his craft to learn how to do it and how to do it right. That, mixed with the fact that it's Keanu Reeves. Is there a nicer guy on the planet? Like, I've never heard anybody actually say a bad thing about him. Like, it's just...
But the movies are good. The choreographing is good. The cinematography, good. It does the story, good.
Well,
granted, with the last one, they didn't wrap it up, and if that better not be the end, still good.
And here's the other reason why it has not slacked and why it's done so well. It is not woke. They don't put anything in there that doesn't need to be in there. If it doesn't need to go in, if it's not progressing the story and the plot, we're not going to put something in just for the sake of putting it in, just so that other people will feel included. No, it's not meant to be that. Because quite frankly, none of us can relate to being an assassin. Like, we already can't relate to that, so why are you trying to make us relate to some component of it? The closest that we can relate to is losing a dog. Like, or a family member, something like that. And we can understand some of the emotions. We can understand the rage. We can understand the hyper focus and being, almost addicted to the pursuit of something. I think in that there are so many human elements that it attacks and it touches on that we can relate to those while being able to remove ourselves from the situation. And like, you can watch that movie, and as soon as you leave it, it's like, oh, that was good. Like, that was really good. Flip that with Nefarious. You can leave that and be like, oh, that was good. But my brain will not shut off because now I am thinking about this and that and the other thing, and it's challenging me and it's stuck with me. Where the way that John Wick sticks with you is,
oh yeah.
it's just like, So, yes. Yeah, and for those that might be listening to the audio replay and you didn't catch the video, shame on you. You should watch the video, especially if you're on Spotify, where you can not only listen to the audio, but you can watch it. That's why I think John Wick is so good. It's just one of those franchise movies that when it came out, they just kept improving on it. And because it set such a high bar here, and they were able to improve incrementally, that even when somebody's like, oh no, chapter 2 was better than chapter 3, or chapter 4 was the worst of the 4, we're talking an incremental better or not, and it's completely subjective and why you think it is what it is. So any of the fans, they're like, I mean, I can see what you're saying. I like this one because of that, but I get where you're coming from. And it's just good.
It's good.
Speaking of which, I think that's John Wick right above my head right there on the back wall. Him and his little puppy right there. Okay, so here's the next thing that we need to talk about before we dismiss and get out of here, which I never asked you what time you got to dismiss and get out of here.
Close
On
to time.
time? Okay.
Yeah.
How's our content creation coming out and our production quality?
Yeah.
And
How's that coming?
So, I was working on and editing
No.
video last night.
No. It starts like this. You see what had happened was.
So you see what had happened was, so what had happened was, I think I've actually got a pretty good reason here. So
Good.
as many know, I've been helping out and taking care of grandma, doing whatever I can over the last couple months, being there. She's going through physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy, recovering from the stroke, making great improvements. People that don't see her but once a week or every other week or once a month, they're blown away by it. Even her therapists that are seeing her a couple times a week are blown away by her improvement. Those of us that see her daily we might go days where it's like, all right, we're making a little bit of improvement. And then there's other days that it's like, wait, how did that just happen? And it's like the little incremental things that maybe we're not seeing all the time. That being said, so she's making these improvements. Last Tuesday, I was setting up everything, the new content that I was talking about that I've been wanting to make, but I don't want to make it because I'm kind of afraid if I make it that everybody's not going to like it. And I want to make it so much that my feelings are going to get hurt because I'm going to feel rejected personally. And it's going to be a deep wound, which I know I shouldn't, but I'm still going to. That I was
How far in the future are you? That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like 3 weeks into the future and regretting all of the choices that lead up to this, which then puts me in a paralyzing and crippling fear of producing something to where I don't produce anything. And that's been going on for months, by the way. So I got Ecamm because there's going to be some screen capture stuff. Ecamm's all set up. I got the profiles. I finally realized you can make profiles. Everything is up and going, and went over, helped her out last Tuesday. We're getting ready for it. I think, it was last Tuesday. And then all of a sudden I get ready to head back over just to kind of, I think, lay her down in bed, and we get down and I start walking out and something sounds off and go back in, and she had a mini stroke again. So the progress that we saw moving forward, it was like, oh no, we went way back. Now in the reality of it, it's like we made 10 steps forward and took 2 steps back. But because I'm so focused on the here and now with it being every day, I saw we took 1 step forward and we took 5 steps back. So it seemed a lot worse, which then that whole thing of going through, and there was it only lasted like 15 minutes. 15 minutes that was rough. 15 minutes that was lots of prayer and immediate prayer and rebuking the enemy and praying in tongues and seeing a nurse that's kind of like looking at me kind of funny and not even caring. It was kind of an intense moment there. And then there was a slow recovery over the next few days, but it required a lot more of my focus and attention over there. That being said, when I finally got back out of it, I didn't realize how much stress that kind of caused in those days. So it took me another 24 hours to kind of breathe and recover. And the next thing I know, it's Sunday and I've got church. And then here comes Monday. And Monday was the first day that Genevieve was kind of over helping because mom wound up going to work. And so Genevieve's over and she's taking care of her. And it's like every time I got back and I get at the computer, I got another text message and it's like, hey, let's go over and help. So it was back and forth and back and forth. And you know how that goes where you get interrupted. It sets your progress back at least 20 minutes because then you got to try to figure out. All that to be said, everything for this video is recorded and it's in the editor and it's starting. And I'm already overly critiquing this and not liking it because of thinking how it's going to be. But I'm working on it. And with all that being said, the rest of the month of the Bible verse shorts are completely done. So that channel at least has all of its content on it. And it's ready for me to sit down and do a recording session for all of next month for that, as well as I now have outline for full chapter and section book readings that are going to go on there. I just have to figure out the exact format of how I'm going to present that on video. but at least the outlines are there. And I've got a few ideas for channel 865. But for this one, there's one that is completely recorded, started on the edit, and a second one that corresponds with it, kind of documenting my whole headspace, that is partially recorded, but is not going to come out till later in the week, depending on when this one drops, because it's got to give a few days for the last half of the story of, okay, how did it actually perform? And is everything that's in my head, did it actually come to fruition, or was I overcomplicating things and overanalyzing it? And what am I going to do in the future? Probably the exact same thing I've always done in the past, because I'm a creature of habit.
Insanity. I'm just kidding.
So that's where
Love
I'm at.
it.
How about you with your content creation? When's the next video dropping?
That's a good question, actually. So here's a little. You see what happened was, so work picked up. Had a couple opportunities. I just got in a groove. Let's just get down to it. I got in a groove of being super chill in the last month or so.
Yeah.
Whatever it's been, 2 months since I was posting regularly, and it's just been like ramping back up to that schedule with church, with home life that I actually enjoy, with video company work, going on. I'm trying to figure out where to fit everything. With that being said, I have been documenting the process because that's kind of been my new deal. I have 1, 2, 3. I'm looking down here at my screen so I can see all the post-it notes. I have 1, 2, 3 videos that are currently have some element of filming going on. I am nearly finished with the first one. I'm probably going to do some filming after we get off here in a little bit. That's one of my markers. Got a phone call coming, but one of my markers. And then if I can get that finished, hopefully I'll have one here this week, and that will keep me on track for at least one a week for the main channel. I am getting to a point where I'm getting a little busy because I have my video production stuff for the company, right? That's got to be going on still behind the scenes. And I've taken on a new project that I'll hope to inform later on about. And that, as you may know, is that's a monster.
I've probably got a bunch of things that I could share with you on that if it's what we're talking about.
It is.
Yeah, because I've spent years doing slow, steady research on that. But there's a few videos that I've seen recently that actually created quite a few unlocks. So
send those over, or just distill it and break it down for me at some point, because I am learning about something that I'm trying to get done here in the next. What did we decide? A month? 2 months?
Well, for me, we didn't put you on a time frame.
Okay.
Because I'm
trying to support.
No.
So
me, I'm on a time frame of it has to be out by the end of May.
May?
Yes, that for me. For me.
Well, I'm with you, man. That was
for
the whole point.
No, I was giving you, I want to see you making effort towards it, and at least showing that you're getting there in some fashion, to then feel like you've done yours. But
I'm just here for moral support.
I've got
years
of stuff building this up, so that's where for me, it's all up in here that is preventing me from putting mine out there. And if I can't get out of here, then I better hang this whole thing up. So that's where it's that's the pressure that I've placed on myself, and it's a good godly pressure, I believe, that needs to be done for you, because you don't have the extra looking in, studying, analyzing, figuring it out that I do. I'd say you're several steps behind me in this process. So to try to expect you to complete at the same time that I know I'm aiming to complete when I'm that far ahead of you, I mean, that's like trying to beat you in a 400-yard dash when I'm already 300 yards in and you've got both legs tied up and dragging a ball and chain behind you. It's like you're behind a little ways. So I either got to give you some extra. You need a handicap when it comes to this.
I am not concerned. I'm going into this project that we're chatting about. I'm going into this project just wanting to do something with a friend and feel the same bumps along the road. I am under no delusion that this is going to be the greatest thing that I've ever made in my life. But I am trying to do it well. I'm trying to do it with integrity. I'm learning lots. It's something I'm interested in, which is why I brought it up to you, a while back to say I need to know how to do this for business, for my own personal stuff in the future anyway. Yep. So a good trial run never hurt anybody. So anyway, working on that particular project behind the scenes and keeping up with the weekly videos. Yeah. All I'm going to be able to do probably from this time forward until the project is completed is to just document the process. So probably not this video, not this week, but next week I will be documenting that. So if you're not saying anything to anybody, you might ought to have a heads up, because I'm saying things on my channel in about 2 weeks.
I haven't yet, but I plan on it in about 2 weeks.
Okay.
So, yeah, because it was me trying to get this stuff out so I can really focus on that, and I want to create a buffer for everything else before I focus on this, because I know when I focus on this, I'm going to have a week to 10 days of like hyper focus on it, which is probably more than I need. But I want to have stuff batched so that way I don't have to worry about it during that time. And at that point, those videos will start trickling out while we're going.
Well, we're going to find out whether those first 20 hours of learning, like we're going to put that to the test. We're going to see how far that gets you, because that's about what I've got into this whole this whole process. I mean, barring the native skills that we already have, that we've already developed as far as video and whatnot. So cool. That's what I've got going on, man. That's why things are coming out so slowly. I feel like I'm putting together some systems that are making me hyper productive. They're just not they're not manifesting on my channel yet. They will be, but they not yet.
Yep. And that's what's been part of the other delay, because I can't say that, grandma was the whole delay. It's not. And if she's still listening, I don't want her to think that is the delay. Life happens, and life always is going to throw us curveballs. The other delay that I've had. So see, what happened was I'm also creating those systems. And so I've now got the full system for the Bible channel, with the exception of the editing workflow on that. But I've got the pre-production and production all systematically ready to go, and it's smooth. And then one of the style of videos, the new one, provided that actually works, and I decide to go with that. That pre-production and production is systematically ready to go. After that, I don't know where I'm at with the rest of it, but now that I've decided ultimately that I'm not getting rid of Adobe Premiere Pro, and I'm never going to try any other software, because Adobe keeps making enough stuff that they trickle out right when I'm like, I'm going to leave.
I'm done.
And then all of a sudden I see Adobe Firefly and I'm like,
So what is that? I got to looking at that the other day. I'm like, what? I don't even know what are they trying to sell me here? I know they're trying to get me to stick around, but what are they trying to sell me?
Adobe Firefly. It is generative AI for like everything: audio, video, photos. Yeah.
This stuff needs to just slow down, man.
Video editing simplified. Change the scene to a winter day.
Was it Elon who said this isn't like a bell curve? This isn't like an exponential increase.
Yeah,
this is a wall. This is like we're tracking up an understanding and ability as far as AI, and then boom.
Yeah. It's one of those that there's been a few different things that they've put out here. The Adobe podcast was definitely a huge one. They're still working on that stuff. The Firefly is a good one, and then there's also this other one. Let me see if I can find this real quick.
Is it Adobe as well?
It's an Adobe plug-in. I gotta look for my search history. Where was it? History. Nope, wrong channel. Switch accounts. Go over here. Now go back to the history. Where's this? Yes, this is the one. Autopod. Autopad. Automatically edit for videos, podcasts, and shows. It is an Adobe Premiere plugin. Multicam editing, and I saw what's his name over on it's film thing where they like show how to do filmmaker. They've done a lot of like $2,000 camera versus like a $15. So like a beginner with a $2,000 camera and a pro with a iPhone.
Oh yeah.
Those guys. He showed that, and his full-length podcast, this thing edited down in 47 seconds.
No.
47 seconds. No joke. Multicam, and then he played through a section of it. It did better than he did on his own. I'm watching it. I'm like, ooh. Now it's, I think, $30 a month is the individual license on it. They do have a $30 or 30-day free trial, but it's like a multicam editor, a social clip creator, and it does auto jump cut editor. So it automatically takes out the pauses and the breaths and stuff. And it's a Premiere Pro plugin. I saw this thing and I'm like, oh no.
Watch out, editors.
Well, I'm looking at it and I'm like, I'm now going to have to figure out how to come up with another $30 a month. But so here's the thing. Here's one other thing. I'll leave it with this final thing, this final thought, and then I think we need to get out of here. Question. Will AI replace me in my job? Answer. No. But a person who knows how to use AI might. That is, I think, where we're at and where we're heading. I don't believe that artificial intelligence is ever going to truly replace us. I don't think it's there, even as fast as this is ramping up. I don't see it. It doesn't know how to run itself. And there is some things that we are created in the image of our creator to be creative, that nothing that we create can ever be as good as what he has created. That creativity, AI cannot replicate. It can imitate to a certain degree, but it can't replicate. And there are God-given ideas that if we can utilize AI as just another tool, and a tool that is remarkable, that's where I think the next iteration is of creativity. And it's going to be fascinating. Because like even artists, painting, drawing, writing, they get the idea first and they can conceptualize it. AI is only going to help to a certain degree. And at the same time, it's still got to be filtered back through us, and humanity and our preferences changes so much that AI has to use us in order to figure out what to serve us. So it still needs us. So will AI take over? No. But somebody who knows how to use AI likely will. That's my last thought. That's all I got for you guys. Jarrod, you got any other parting shots?
Nope. That's it.
All right. Autopod, create. And until next time, stay blessed, enjoy God's best, have a fantastic week. Where's that button that goes and ends?